Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to this week's Astrocast. Woohoo! So this is going to be covering the week ahead, which will be October 24th, 2022 through October 30th, 2022. So first of all, hello, welcome back to all my old friends. Welcome to all my new friends. I'm going to give a brief rundown of how astrocasting works for the unfamiliar, the uninitiated, so we all kind of understand. As you see here, we have this lovely circular board, which I'm just realizing some of the numbers are a little bit scooped off. All right, I'll fix it later. But we have this lovely circular board divided up into 12 equal segments, and these represent the 12 houses of the zodiac and their natural areas of rulership. Excuse my burp, I'm sorry. I knew it was stuck in there somewhere. I want to kind of say this with the caveat that this might, play out slightly differently or resonate differently for you based on your own personal astrology. So if you're interested in a custom astrocast that's, tailored to your personal astrology, please feel free to DM me for a custom reading. If I get enough comments on these videos or requests, I will add astrocasts as a permanent fixture to my shop, but just for right now, feel free to DM me for that. But as I was saying, 12 houses covers the 12, the areas of natural rulership of the 12 houses of the zodiac. So then we have this lovely little jar of teeny tiny tarot cards. Look at these little itty bitty lovers. Do you guys see that? Look at. Oh my God. I love it. So I reach in blindly, pull cards, and then cast them onto the board and interpret the energies of the cards. Oops, I'm going to move that out there. This little bitty always comes up. You know what? No, I'm going to put it back in because it's like a little wild card. All right. But what was I just saying? Oh, yeah. Then I interpret the energy of the cards and apply it to the area of life where it falls. So with that, let's get started. Let's look at our week ahead. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like mega mad energized as compared to like the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if like the energy is just a lot more charged this week or whatnot. It just feels, it feels like there's a lot going on. Okay, I specifically want to do this one and then this one. Good stuff. Okay, so, excuse me. I'm sorry. As you see here, they'll fall in every different like kind of orientation. So when the bottom of the card is facing, more often than not, see how it's on its side, but it's like more upright than not. When the bottom of the card faces the inside, like the center of the wheel, that's upright. Similarly in this situation, even though it's tilted, the top of the card more than not faces the inside of the wheel, that's reversed. And we have situations like this Nine of Cups, for example, or this World card, where they're on their side. I take that to mean that the energy is in flux. So, so let's see what we have. Excuse me, I'm sorry guys, my allergies are just awful. What was I just gonna say? Oh yeah. Wow, I'm really scattered today, so I don't know if you guys are like having a crazy week as well, but we've got this, we have the new moon and it's the new moon eclipse on the 25th, so I don't know if like I'm kind of channeling that energy or tuning into that energy a little early. But yeah, it's exciting. We also have Saturn going direct in a couple of days. Actually, no, Saturn goes direct tomorrow because I'm filming this on the 21st. But Saturn goes direct tomorrow, so there's a lot of energy going on. Anywho, so we have the World on its side in the 4th house. We have the Six of Cups reversed bordering the 1st and 2nd house. We have the Ace of Wands bordering the 10th and 11th house. I'm getting a really good feeling off that. I love it. We have the Nine of Cups on its side in the 8th house. And then, all right, I'm going to say the Chariot was mostly upright because it was like roughly like this. So I'm going to say mostly upright for the Chariot in the 7th house. I'm feeling upright vibes here. Where do I want to begin? So I like that, first of all, I want to mention we have Cancer's energy showing up here with the Chariot, which is really interesting because then we also then have the 4th house, and Cancer naturally rules the 4th house, kind of showing up here. So where do I want to begin? I want to talk about, excuse my burp, I'm sorry. I want to talk about these two, the Six of Cups reversed bordering the first and second house, and the Nine of Cups on its side in the 8th house. Well, no, I actually want to talk about the Nine of Cups first. Sorry. And then I'll talk about it. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So the reason why I want to talk about the Nine of Cups on its side in the 8th house, I feel like this has been something that I've kind of seen in the collective for a while, but this might be kind of a really strong underpinning in the next week, especially. We have a lot going on in terms of like the timing of the year, right? The veil is at its thinnest. We're approaching that because that happens on October 31st into November 1st, but really anytime surrounding that, like especially the month and a half prior and the month and a half subsequently, it's at its thinnest. So this is really a time to be connecting with the spirit realm, including your higher self and your spirit guides. People are getting more guidance, and it's like coming through intensely, like crystal clear here, more so than it might at other times in the year. Now we also have Saturn going direct, as I mentioned, and that's happening this week. But it will still be, we'll be kind of, seeing sort of the energy shifts next week as a result, and the week ahead as a result of that. Excuse me. I'm sorry, you guys. This is just driving me bonks. And then on top of that, we have that new moon eclipse. So there's a lot here about getting guidance from your spirit guides, from your higher self, especially when it comes to transforming your life and really owning who you are, owning your power, owning your authenticity, because Saturn's going direct again in Aquarius. Excuse me. And then Scorpio naturally rules the 8th house. We have this Nine of Cups on its side in the 8th house. And this is just really a time to be, again, like really looking at your personal power, how you give your power away. When Saturn is retrograde, this is a time where we go inward and we really kind of look at, that area of our lives, both where Saturn falls for us as well as the sign that it's in, and where the sign that it's in is in our personal chart. So this is really a time where, a lot of us have been encouraged to really review the lessons that we've kind of learned in the previous period when Saturn, when it was direct, it goes retrograde. During that retrograde, we're being encouraged to think about and really reflect on the lessons that we've learned while it was direct, and then it will go direct again in order for us to, implement what we have learned. This is also a time where things from the past come back in order to kind of, I don't want to say test us, because if you've ever gotten a reading with me, you've probably heard me talk about this. And I'll give you guys the short version right now. I personally don't really like the concept that the universe, tests us, because I feel like it's very punitive and dogmatic. I don't think it works. I don't think it works like that. And I also think it serves to just make people anxious. It's kind of, it becomes more about passing the tests than it does about actually absorbing the lessons. So I don't totally love that terminology, but I can't think of a more appropriate term. So the reason why I'm bringing all this up, sorry, I have like 10,000 thoughts. I'm trying to distill down into something very concise, but I'm failing. But the way I personally view it, and this applies. This feels like Legally Blonde, where she's like, "I have a point, I promise," and she's like, "Good, then make it." There you go. So the reason why I think this is important, so I don't really believe, like I said, that the universe tests us, right? We learn our lessons, we grow, we raise our vibration, we change our internal frequency, right? And this isn't an overnight process. This is a gradual shift and change. And in that interim period where we're kind of moving away from our old way of being, our old paradigms, our old patterns, and moving into our new frequency, our new way of thinking, our new way of, living, this new chapter in our lives, there's that interim period of time where you're both still attracting things from your old frequency and attracting things in from your new frequency. And you get to pick which ones you want to engage in, right? And this will dictate the cycles that this will kind of dictate the energy of the next cycle that you're in. Do you want to do what you're attracting back in that you're familiar with? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Or would you like to, engage with something new? And so that's kind of where I feel like that energy of testing sort of kind of comes in, is that we're attracting, as we're transitioning into our new frequency, we attract both things that, from our old way of being and things from our new way of being. And we get to, like I said, choose what we want to interact with. The reason why all this is important is because with this 9 of Cups on its side in the 8th house, I feel that sorry, I didn't mean to bump the desk. I feel that many of us have been going through this period of time, specifically because Saturn has been in Aquarius, where we've really been being encouraged to get in touch with our authentic selves, even if it's different than what we thought we were going to be doing, even if it's a little eccentric, a little outside the box. We've been really being encouraged to get in touch with our authenticity and our personal integrity, and to claim that and kind of like defend that, for lack of a better term, right? Like say like, nope, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. And many of us have been experiencing, I'm going to say, opportunities to explore those themes and engage with our authentic selves really over the entirety of the time that Saturn's been in Aquarius, which has been over the last 3 years. Oh my God, you guys, I'm sorry. My allergies are just so bad. Holy shit. So this has really been kind of what's at the core of this. And the reason why this is important is that Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces over the next year, if I'm remembering correctly. So while this happens every time Saturn goes retrograde, this is different because this is the last Saturn retrograde in this sign, right, in Aquarius. And then it's going to be moving into Pisces. And thus bringing different lessons, different teachable moments, different challenges. And so on top of everything else, on top of this new moon eclipse as well, what we've been encouraged to really be looking at is, what is it that we want with the 9 of Cups on its side in the 8th house? Many of us have been called to, through these periods of change and transformation, especially too because we had Pluto that was retrograde in Capricorn, so it's very similar energy, and it just went direct a couple weeks ago. So this is really a time where we've been encouraged to kind of do some reviewing and really think about, like I said, what it is we want, what would make us happy. The 9 of Cups is also very much a personal emotional satisfaction, right? Like, as opposed to the 10 of Cups where, your heart is full and satiated and you have loved ones to share it with. The 9 of Cups is like, it's just for me, right? This one's just for me. So, I think that's a really important distinction, right? And the 9 of Cups is really about, like, what would make you happy? What would make you satisfied? What would make you, like, I always say the 9 of Cups is like that feeling, like, when you're craving a food super strong all day and it's like all you can think about. And sometimes you go and you have it and you're just like, oh, that was nice. And, it's kind of more like, now I can stop thinking about it. And then there are other times where you're craving a food and you, like, finally have it and it just slaps, right? You're like, you know what? I thought this would be really, really good. And it was really good. It was everything I wanted and more. And that's kind of that 9 of Cups, right? Where this is for you. And I don't know why I'm being drawn to this. I've literally never mentioned this before, but I'm seeing really noticeably the yellow, blue, and red with the primary colors. I'm feeling like you guys have been doing this evaluation process of what would make you happy. And like almost kind of going back to basics a little bit, or going back to like maybe a very long standing like plan that you had or vision and reevaluating it. And this is something that I feel like many of you have been working on over the last 3 or 4 months. You've been being encouraged to look at like, okay, what is it that I really want? Or if there's like a pattern, it's like, what is it that is really important to me? And I think it's really interesting it's in the 8th house, because while this is the house of, death and rebirth, of transformation, excuse me, it's also a house that has to do with intimate mergers, right? So this is where the ego is really stripped away and the me becomes we, but it's also you're connecting with your authentic soul self. It's less about kind of the, like I said, like the ego consciousness that we experience when we are embodied here. I do want to say as well, one of the things, because it's about intimate mergers, one of the things that the eighth house can kind of talk about, it can talk about marriage, like the institution of marriage, but it can also talk about shared resources and shared investments. For some of you, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys. For some of you, you're really looking at what kind of people you want to align to, if at all. So this could be about a very particular relationship. Some of you may have been reviewing and kind of revising your thoughts and beliefs on marriage, on having a family, on the type of partner you'd like to have. Some of you also too, if you have any significant placements in your eighth house, some of you have been really doing a lot of reviewing when it comes to that area of your life. But this to me feels like this is like the underpinning that's kind of interplaying with all the other energies here. So I wanted to address that first. A lot of you are in this place, and because it's on its side, I do feel like there's something where either you're still going to be reviewing this over the next week. There are going to be things that come up that might challenge old beliefs that you've had, or this is something where you're going to be getting offers and opportunities, because I do see movement forward. I do see things, I do see things manifesting in your reality, both this week and also moving forward. But you're going to be in this contemplative energy where you're kind of holding up the offers you're getting. Holding up the offers you're getting against what you have learned about yourself. And you're saying, okay, oh geez, I keep bumping everything, you guys. But you're kind of saying like, okay, does this really honor me? Does this honor my dreams, right? Especially if you've been used to kind of, considering, because I'm noticing we have 7th house, 4th house, we have like some 10th and 11th house. If you've been used to putting everything else first, or thinking about, because this is like everything, right? Home and family, emotional foundations, career, relationships, friends, all of these really important things. If you've been used to kind of putting these other things first, or you've been maybe, again, you had like an old plan or an old belief system that was kind of your North Star, your compass that kind of drove you in all these other areas of life. I feel like by reevaluating this, you're going to be given the opportunity to kind of like really evaluate all these other offers in different areas of life. And you might find again that like, not for some of you, you'll be getting 1 or 2 offers over the next couple months. For some of you, you'll be getting, something in all of these areas. But it's like however this manifests for you, you're really holding it up against and said, is this going to make me happy? Because I feel like you've done a lot of self-work, a lot of self-introspection. You've been learning about yourself. And now it's going to give you, like they're showing me somebody putting this set of glasses on somebody. Now it's going to give you a completely different perspective when it comes to reviewing your options. So I do just kind of want to comment on that, because I do feel like this is going to be like I said, at the center of all these other messages. So, excuse me. I'm being drawn to the world on its side in the 4th house. I do want to clarify it though. So before I even do, I want to say for some of you, you are thinking about moving. Like this would be like quite a big relocation. You might be getting an offer and you're contemplating it. Excuse me. And this would be a departure from what you know, because this is also a card that has to do with travel and with moving as well. But this would be like you're maybe making a plan, you're getting an offer. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You might be getting an opportunity to travel, and this is like something where you're like going to see if wherever you're traveling to, you're going to see if like that's something that like that's a place you want to move. And I say this because the world's on its side, so it's not like a definitive energy, but this could be where you're really seriously contemplating or planning a move. You're let's say you have family that live elsewhere, that live far away, and you go to visit them, and you actually are like, wow, you know what, I really like this town, this city, I really like this, this country, I really like this area, and so you're kind of having to contemplate like, okay, is this something I want to seriously kick around? So that's just for some of you, but I do want to pull a clarify, just because this could go one of several ways. What is this? Okay, interesting. We have the 4 of Cups. And then I want to pull one more. Yeah. And then the 9 of Wands, I almost want to leave it reversed. So my rule of thumb with this is with clarifiers, I almost always just take them upright for Astrocast alone, just because it's a little bit more, it's a little clearer. Okay, so for others of you, there's a situation when it comes to your home potentially, but your family and your emotional foundations, right? The 4th house really talks about those things. And there's a situation, excuse me, there's a situation where I feel like you're trying to decide whether or not to disengage from it. This could be where it's like you're trying to decide, you know, for some of you, if you're trying to decide whether or not to move, it's not because, you know, for some of you, it's not necessarily like because it's like, oh, I'd like to move, that would be nice. It's more that, how do I put this? It's like you're having to make a change because of what you're experiencing in your home. So the reason why I say this with the 4 of Cups and the 9 of Wands reversed, I feel like there's a situation in this area of your life where you've really been offering a lot. You've been offering emotional stability as well. You've been offering something very, very grounded, very stable. You know, you've been poised is a word that's coming through, very patient, very emotionally mature. And the other person involved is just not having any of it with the 4 of Cups. Like, they're not engaging, they're, you know, not appreciative, they're not working with you, you know, they're not communicating well. There's something here where it's like they're just not taking what you're offering them. And that doesn't mean like a literal offer, but this is like, let's say this is a, you know, I don't know, let's say this is a roommate situation, right? You know, if there are issues in the home, you know, if you're trying to talk to them, be like, hey, you know, I noticed this, can we try to do this differently? Or like, you know, oh, I noticed this is a habit of yours and this is why it's a problem. You know, how can we meet in the middle? How can we compromise? I feel like you're, excuse me, I'm sorry. You're really trying to like offer that. If this is like if this is a sibling or like, again, a roommate situation, you might be trying to get them to do things with you, like invite them out, trying to get to know them more to form more of an emotional bond. So it's like a more pleasant living environment, or there's something like that. Whatever it is that you're offering to this person, they're just not participating. They're not accepting what you're bringing to the table. And I feel like a lot of you are deciding or trying to decide this week with the world on its side, if you keep trying with this person or if you kind of just let it go. I'm also being drawn to the 4 fixed signs here. So these could apply, you know, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. But more than anything else, fixed signs, you know, when they're in their shadow, fixed signs can be kind of stubborn. And with this 4 of Cups energy, I see that here, where this person's just not participating, just not engaging in a meaningful way. And I feel like for a lot of you, you know, with the 9 of Wands reversed, you're kind of throwing in the towel with this person. And I feel like this is a week where you're going to be kind of starting to like open up and look at your options and be like, you know what, I tried. You know, I tried to reach out to them. I tried to, you know, offer them support, offer them loving words. I tried to offer them an olive branch if you guys have been kind of fighting. And this person's just not interested in participating, right? It's not necessarily about like, you know, because this has this energy where it's like they're not even, you know, they're not even accepting or rejecting. They're not even telling me like how they feel. They're not, again, not participating at all. So it's kind of this energy of like, well, what else can I really do if I've tried to like talk to them? I've tried to give them, you know, options, opportunities. I've tried to reach out. Like, I can't make them do this. I used to say this, excuse me, about an ex of mine where this was very much the energy where it's like, well, you know, I'm trying to like connect with you, but if you don't accept any of my, you know, my invitations, that's going to be really hard to advance the relationship. Like, I'm trying to offer you different things, but I used to say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it text you back. Like, I don't know why that popped into my head. But yeah, so this is kind of what I see going on when it comes to like your home. And again, for a lot of you, I don't feel like this necessarily involves family. It might. But this feels like this is a, you know, kind of about your living space. And so for some of you, what's really prompting this kind of review is that with the Ace of Wands bordering the 10th and 11th house, you might be getting an offer from a friend, right? The 11th house to me also really talks about your soul tribe. And you might be kind of getting an offer. And so especially too where the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, 11th house by Aquarius naturally. Both of these in traditional astrology are ruled by Saturn. So we have a lot of activity going on with those two signs and thus those houses, as well as that planet, which would be Saturn. There we go. Sorry, you guys, my brain. Yeah, and it's kind of just like, for some of you, you're going to be getting this new offer. This could be an opportunity for travel. This could be, you're getting offered a new living situation. I'm noticing we have the 9 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. It's like, and that would, if you put them together, that's like the 10 of Wands kind of energy. But to me, it's also like somebody seeing how hard you're working, how much you're struggling in this situation, and they're trying to offer you a way out, right? They're trying to lift your burdens. They're trying to offer you an alternative. So this is for some of you, you're really going to be thinking about that. And for some of you too, if you're thinking about moving, particularly like a very long distance relocation, it's because there's an element to which this has a been there, done that kind of feeling. There's an element to which the situation you're currently in is very, very stagnant, and you're kind of over it, right? I feel like at this point it's to the point where, like, wherever you are, whatever you're kind of doing, your comfort zone, it's not challenging you to the point where it's becoming an active problem. Like, this has this energy where it's like, I don't even mind a challenge. I don't even mind, fighting for something. I don't mind trying new things. I don't mind difficulty, but I want it to, I want it to lead to something. I want it to grow. I'm tired of being stagnant. And it's just like, you're bored where you are. And so this is like what's prompting this thought about, like, okay, well, let me look into these other things. Like, let me consider this. So I do want to just kind of mention that. Now I'm being drawn to the Chariot in the 7th house. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I will say this is technically upright. It was pretty close initially. I do want to just kind of make mention of that. But for a lot of you, there is a partnership situation that I feel like is going to resolve itself. I'm hearing you're going to come out on top. Things are going to go. This has this energy where things might have seemed like they were going to completely fall apart. And I feel like if your initial hopes for this situation were like, high hopes were a 10, I feel like things have been going in such a way where you've assumed it's going to be like a 5 or even a 3, but this is going to come out as a solid 8. So maybe not like the most ideal situation, but you're pleased with it. You're happy with it. You're like, okay, yep, that's fine. I want to know more about it though. I feel like somebody might be offering you an apology. Which one do I take? This one? The Emperor. Okay. Aries energy here. So this could be with an Aries or a Cancer. I want to clarify. So you could be getting, I'm also drawn into the Ace of Cups in the jar here. You could be getting an apology from an Emperor. You could be getting an offer. This is a divine masculine energy. So this could be where somebody's finally saying sorry. But no, somebody's finally owning up to things. With the black and white sphinxes, the thing with the Chariot that I really find intriguing is that, the charioteer is successful and victorious, and part of the reason why is because they have done their shadow work, right? They know themselves entirely. They work with their energy, not against it. And I think that's a really important distinction. So this person may have done their shadow work. These are very empowered energies. These are very like masculine energies. I don't know why I said it like that, masculine. But you might be getting, again, I just keep hearing an apology. So for some of you, you're getting an apology from this person this week. Now this person might want to, get on your good side again, get things back into a good groove. If you guys are separated, this person might want to start with communication first, but they want to have success with you. They would like this to be resolved in a successful way. And again, maybe you had really high hopes for this before and it's not exactly coming out, like your ideal situation, but you're satisfied with it. It's like, okay, especially with these two energies, it's solid, it's stable. You're like, okay, yep, I can live with that. I want to pull a clarifier though. For some of you, I feel like you've been waiting for this person, and it's finally coming around. And the Empress, no shit. All right, I'm done here. Taurus and Libra energy here. Okay, so for some of you, this is absolutely a divine union coming out in the 7th house. I mean, you shut the fuck up. But like, absolutely, this is coming together here. And this is because you both have done the work. You've both done your shadow work. And now I feel like too, especially with the underpinnings of the 9 of Cups on its side in the 8th house, you've had time to think about what do you want, right? You know, and if you guys have been kind of disconnected, you guys are really talking about this honestly. If you guys have been, you know, things have just kind of been crazy in your everyday life, you guys are like making time to revive the relationship, making time to really connect with each other. For some of you, this is going to be where a divine counterpart asks if you want to move with them or move in with them, and that might prompt this conversation as well. You know, if this is like, oh, you know, just because these are both cards of travel and long distance, so they might be asking about moving very far away or just moving in together. This is something they want to bring up with you. But in general, just because, like, again, apology was the thing I keep hearing. If you're in separation with this person is going to be reaching out to apologize. This person wants to fix things with you because they've had enough time to see that you're their counterpart. Like, you're what's home for them. And they are, I feel like this person, especially with the 6 of Cups reverse bordering the 1st and 2nd house, this person may have been kind of trying to get more secure within themselves. This person, it's like this person needed time to figure out if you're actually like the one that they're, like the thing that they're looking for, the one they're looking for, right? I think, especially I'm getting this person may have been ignoring their intuition for a while. Excuse me. And this could have to do with a past situation that they had to work through. You guys may have also had past life karma and contracts that you had to process through first. But this is what's going on here. This person wants to mend any broken fences with you. They want to, you know, they want a union. They want to come together with you. This person sees you. They value you really highly. They hold you in high regard, but they also see you as, I'm hearing like a part of them. Like they can't get away from it. This person might be used to doing things really independently. And the thing is, especially with this as the underpinning, you might not be what they kind of had planned for themselves. You might not be what they would normally, like who they would normally go after, or it may be where being with you or getting closer with you or taking this next step derails some other plan that they had. And I feel like they needed time to figure out if that was what they wanted to do, if that was, I don't want to say worth it, but like if that was going to be the best move. Because this person, you guys may have in your previous cycle or previous stages in the relationship, this person was enjoying it for what it was in the moment, but now they're thinking about the long term, right? So if you guys are like, even if it starts small with an apology and communication, this person wants you in their life long term, and they want to put in the effort and the work to do that, right? This person, if they're like trying to get back together, this person sees a future with you. This person may have been clearing things out of their life in order to make room for you. But essentially what's happening is this person really, really wants to, I'm also really drawn to, there's the 5 of Pentacles in here and the Knight of Cups. They just got my attention. I feel like this person wants to make you a legitimate emotional offer. Again, apologies on the table, because with the 5 of Pentacles, they may just not have felt good enough before. They may have felt like they didn't have enough to offer you materially, but they also realized that something about the way they handled communication or the way they handled the situation may have left you feeling slighted or kind of like abandoned. And they're like, oh, that's not my intention. So what you would like to do with that is up to you, but I would not be surprised if this person reaches out over the next week or takes some type of active step or makes a significant gesture, because this person wants to mend fences with you. So that's nice. I like that. Excuse my horrible allergies. So then we have the 6 of Cups reverse bordering the 1st and 2nd house. I feel like this to me is like a lot of you, this feels very light, even though that would kind of normally be sort of a heavier energy, and heavier in the sense that like this would be kind of letting go of things from your past when it comes to your sense of self and feeling secure in yourself, right? But it actually feels light. Like I feel like you're letting it go. You're really letting it go. You're not just like, you know, sometimes letting it go happens in stages, right? And we have to do the heavier work first of really unpacking it and then releasing it, right? This feels like the releasing point. And there's something where, you know, because of this 9 of Cups in the 8th house, there's something where you might not have gotten something that you wanted, and it forced you to really have to like explore some aspect of yourself, particularly when it comes to like inner child kind of wounds or subsequent required healing, things like that. Because the 2nd house can really talk about the things we find security in. And so I feel like there's something where you may have had a comfort zone, especially because the 2nd and the 8th house, they're traditionally ruled by Taurus and Scorpio. And the thing that both of them are trying to figure out, both of these signs have their own unique relationship with control and power. And really what's at the heart of that is fear, right? We try to control things that we know when we're afraid, because we want to feel like, you know, we have some agency. We want to feel less afraid. So both of these signs are trying to have a sense of power in their relationship to control, as a way of finding a sense of power in their relationship to fear or powerlessness. And so what I feel like this is talking about is that there may have been something that fell through where, or, you know, just in general, there was something that happened that challenged you to have to re-examine your relationship with, you know, with something that made you feel secure. Like you were pushed, like kind of like baby bird out of the nest. You were pushed out of your comfort zone. And this may have been really difficult and really triggering for you. And I feel like this was something where you had to kind of go through the flames here. You had to walk through the fire. And now on the other side, you're kind of able to release this, and you're like, okay, you know what? I've let go of this. Like, this feels like having a death grip on like a concept of happiness, maybe on a person, a job. You know, maybe this is like a death grip on like needing to be alone or do like your lone wolf kind of thing. But there's something where it was a comfort zone. Excuse my burp. And I feel like you got forcibly extricated from it, and now you've like gone through the triggering, you've done the work, and I feel like you're releasing the fear around this. So now you can look at, okay, you know, this thing got taken away from me, or this thing got challenged in me, and I am on the other side of it now. Like, I know I can survive this, and now that I'm like not in this triggered place, like this feels like going from like an amygdala response to a prefrontal cortex kind of move. You're able to assess something again and say, okay, now that I've faced my fear, I can look at everything in front of me and make a truly emotionally and spiritually informed decision. And so that's like, it feels like this levity, this lightness now, where you're like, okay, now that I'm looking at my options, I'm not controlled by fear as much, which good for you, because that's hard to go through that. So, but it will set you free. It sets you free. And then finally, we have this Ace of Wands bordering the 10th and 11th house. This is gorgeous energy. I love it. So for a lot of you, this Ace of Wands can represent a new career path. And it's not just your career path, right? The 10th house is like, you know, we start at the first to go all the way around. By the time we get to the 10th, this is our legacy. This is what we've built for ourselves. This is like, you know, what we will be known for in this lifetime. And as a result, this is also how people see us. You know, what we have accomplished, right? And when we kind of look around at everything we have made for ourselves and we're like, yeah, that was good. Like, I'm pleased with this. I'm happy with this. I like this. You know, there's that moment where we go, okay, I've scaled this mountain. I'm happy with what I've done. What now? And that's where the 11th house comes in, because the 11th house helps us, I keep smacking the desk. The 11th house helps us expand past. You know, this is where we've done everything, we've accomplished everything we can do on our own. So the 11th house comes in to help us expand past our limitations so we can do even more, right? And this is why the 11th house can cover, you know, our wishes, our, our future. This talks about our friends, right? Because these are the things and the people and the situations and the opportunities that help us expand past what we have already built, right? It comes from outside sources and helps us grow. And this is also why, to me, your 11th house, as opposed to like your 3rd house, which talks more about your immediate surroundings, community, your 11th house is more of your soul community, your spiritual community, your soul tribe. So for a lot of you, especially because it's the Ace of Wands, this could be about career. This also could be just about something you really spent a long time making for yourself. So this could be your reputation, kind of like a name that you've made for yourself. You could have built your own business. You could have like a community, in your immediate surroundings, and like you've kind of maybe sort of grown apart from them. And this is you getting an opportunity that's going to help you grow past what you've made, or going to help you expand what you've made in a really positive, I'm hearing like profound, like spiritually positive direction. You're going to be given an opportunity, and this is going to be something I feel like you're going to be excited about. And I feel like this isn't something where you're getting like a spark of inspiration like on your own. You're just sitting there like, haha, eureka, I'm going to do this. This feels like somebody is having a conversation with you. Somebody's giving you an offer, right? This could be something creative and collaborative. This would be like a friend is reaching out, particularly online with the 11th house, but a friend is reaching out and be like, hey, you know what? Like me and so-and-so, or me and my partner, we're doing this project and I think you'd be perfect for it. Are you interested in collaborating with us? Or, oh, this group of us are going to, plan a group vacation to this place. I think it would be super fun to have you along. Are you interested? Pardon my sniffles. And this is like, I feel like this is going to be a thing where you don't have to wonder, is this it? Is this the offer? Should I go? You're going to want to do it like immediately. You're like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And what you might not know is how important, how pivotal this thing is going to be for you. But it's going to like be incredibly expansive. And this is helping. I want to pull a clarifier for it because I'm just spiritually nosy. You know how I am. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's this one. I was like, which one is it? Yeah, Page of Wands. No joke. Okay. This, to me, this is my little adventurer card. So this might be like a literal adventure. This could come in from a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. This is something where you might get the offer now, but it doesn't start until Sagittarius season. But this is really lovely. This is like a new creative project. The Page of Wands is highly enthusiastic. This is going to be something where you're going to be enthusiastic about it. The people who are inviting you, who are extending this opportunity, are like they've got their eye on you. They're like, nope, I want you to do this. Like, I think you specifically. It's not like, oh, I just want to have a friend in on this project. It's like, nope, I think you specifically would be so good for this. So I really love that. But I think that's just about everything that I'm seeing for the week ahead. I know this was a really long one, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. So I hope this week treats you super well. I am wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.